Okay then, this is 2012 N14 factory John Cooper Works. Car came here from a garage. Well, the owners had it in the garage after it started misfiring, which turned out to be a melted piston. So I've taken the engine out. They'd had the engine out. They'd had the engine out and put it back in again, so the car could be recovered home. And I bought it blind. I had a spare engine, which I was going to put together, forged anyway for a different car. So I've sent this this car's original block away to be re-sleeved on that cylinder, and I built up another engine I had here. With Wossner oversized pistons and ZRP I beam conrods. The rest of the car's standard. All the head's been stripped and cleaned. You can see how clean the head is on the outside. That's it really. So it's just gone back together. I've primed it on the starter 4 times till the starter cuts out with fuel system connected. A lot of people don't. They disable the fuel system. Well, I leave it connected so it primes the high pressure side. And without the plugs in, it takes all the load off your big end bearings and main bearings that are nice and new. They're race bearings in this, and it's got ARP bolts in top and bottom. It should be nice, but I'm just putting the video on just to show you the first start because it hasn't run, so it'll either be good or bad, I guess. So if we come in the car, so we've got in the car, I've turned off the radio. I've already gone through on the scanner just to clear any legacy fault codes. There was a load in there because obviously another garage has had it. I've not had the car running, ECU was already off, whole front end was in bits. So I've just cleared all legacy codes and saved a report like that. So at the moment, without the engine running, there's no fault codes in there, nothing came back before the engine came on. So anyway, let's see if it actually works, eh? So you're going to get bulb warnings and washer bottle warnings, but that's the first time this engine is started. So back out. I think that shows why it's paramount really to crank these over several times with the fuel system connected. Like I say, some people won't agree, but I've done a string of these. Every one of them starts much better if you crank it at least 4 times. You let the starter motor cut out because it's cranking over that long, but give it a good breather between. So you might go 2 cranks and then give it a 10-minute breather to let the starter cool down. That's the thing you've got to look after in the wiring to it. There's no load on the starter as such because there's no compression if the spark plugs are out. So you end up with oil that gets around the system. The chances of you starting the car up with no oil in the right, the places you want it most, is far less likely to happen. It's all around the bearings, it's in the oil filter housing, the filter's up to pressure. And you've got it around the Wossner system, and as you can tell on this, it's already around the hydraulic lifters because there's absolutely no lifter noise in this car. There you go. So the smoke you can see is just burn off because it's had my hands all over it for a week or so. That's it really. So I'll leave it running like this for a little while. It's going to make some noises and it might start hunting and surging. Sometimes that happens if the Wossner solenoid gets any debris in it or dirt. Sometimes the Wossner can stick. I haven't actually on this reset the Wossner adaptions. I have to reset the engine adaptions. The Vanos adaptions, if you reset them, sometimes can actually trigger it hunting until you've driven the car through a cycle that forces the Vanos to go through its phases, which of course I don't really want it hunting away when it's ticking over. So when I've built the front of the car up and it's ready to go on the road, then I'll clear the Vanos adaptions and I'll take it on the road and do that. So there you are. It seems happy, I think. The good bit is there's nothing pouring out underneath, which is always nice. Just stand the tablet up here, see what it's doing, and if you can see that, that's just your injection timings. It's all nice and steady. Rail pressure, as you can see, is around the set parameters 5 there, so it just fluctuates a bit above and below. That's good. Let's have a look at temperature. So we'll just wait for that to come up. So coolant's at 53. Got plenty of time. Show you underneath quickly. So that's our new drive belt. I chose to paint the block. I don't normally, but this one was a nice car and it was a nice engine going in. So that's been painted with POR 15 engine enamel in Ford red, for those that want to know. Got a new OEM oil pump in here, OEM timing chain as well on this one. OEM water pump and the drive pulley for it as well. I replaced the drive belt tensioner because the locking pin for it was broken on the old one. They'd wedged an old broken drill bit in there, which is no use to anyone. It didn't affect the tensioner operation, but it would affect me in the future, so it's after leaving a broken part on there. So there you are, so you've got an idea. It's nice and dry, lovely, no noise at all, which is, I have to say, lovely to see. It's quite typical. So we'll just let her warm up. I'll give her a couple of revs in a second when I'm up top. See at the back there, you see how clean the engine bay is. If I clean all the engine bays on everything I take the engines out of. It's standard practice. Without fail, every engine bay gets cleaned. As does every engine. Right. Sorry for the flash of scenery at the scruffy house, but I do everything from home, outside, on the driveway. So what you see is what you get, really. Burn off smoke there. This is bound to warm it up. That will soon clear. all that will do is just put a tiny bit of load on the engine. It's not driving the car, it's not got any weight to pull, it's harmless. Gets a bit of heat in there, gets it up to temperature. Coolant now 73.5. Thermostat won't even open until like 103 or 104. So there you are. This one seems happy. Hope the videos of some use to you. Any questions, post in the comments, or find me online as Cars or Bikes, or have a look at Facebook, Exclusive Workshops, Land Speed Mini, either one. That's all for now. We'll run this a bit longer, and I'll see you soon.